Prayers.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servant whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen.
Correction and approval of records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 14 March 2023.
Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 14 March 2023 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move a motion for correction and approval of the said record of votes and proceedings? The member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion for the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 14 March 2023 to be corrected and approved.
Any seconder? The member for Tumanna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I rise to second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 14 March 2023 be approved. Any issues or observation from honorable members, if honorable members may do so by rest of constituency type. We may begin with page by page, and we can start with page 1. Any issue or issues on page 1? Can we move to page 2? Yes, the member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Page 2, number 14, Honorable Amadou Kamara. He was not present.
Any other issue on page 2? Any other issue on page 2? Can we move to page 3 then? Page 3. Page 4. Any issue on page 4? Page 5. Member for Tumanna on page 5.
Thank you very much. Questions put and agreed. Roman figure 2. Reports of the Standing Committee on Health, Disaster Review and Humanitarian Relief countrywide to health facilities 2022. It was read by Honorable 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒏𝒆𝒍 on behalf of the chairperson. I think it should be indicated that it was read by It was presented by Honorable 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍 on behalf of the chairperson of the committee. Thank you.
Can you are on Roman figure number 2. Immediately after that, you have the Honorable Speaker invited the Honorable Member for all Yundum and member of the committee stepping in for the Honorable Chairperson.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mike. Yes, the member for Fonyi Councillor.
Let's check page 4. I want it to be corrected.
Can you stand up, please?
Sorry. Page 4. The following members participated in the debate. I want it to be page number 2. It's not Jiba, it's GB. Instead of GB. Yes, not Jiba Mbalo. Yes, please. Yes, number 2. So just remove the A for bravery purpose. You cannot take my surname, please. Thank you.
Yes, on page 4, ensuing debate, the following members participated in the debate. Number 2, Honorable Jiba Mbalo. Instead of Jiba Mbalo, it should be Jibi Mbalo. There was another, I saw, was it Sabasanjal? Yeah. Now we on page, which page? Sabasanjal? Yeah, please.
It was the same issue, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Any other issue on page 5? That does it for the record. Page 6. Page 6, yes, member for Councillor.
Yeah, the same, at page 6 also, number 10.
Number 10, page 6. Honorable Jiba Mbalo. I don't know. I'm not sure if he had changed. Maybe he must have seen the member for Councillor. Thank you. Instead of Honorable Jiba Mbalo, it should also read as Honorable Jibi Mbalo. Any other issue on page 6? Thank you very much. It appears that no further issues or issue. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceeding of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 14 March 2023 be approved. With amendment. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. It has been approved. Clerk.
Questions for oral answer.
Honorable members, as per order paper and order 41.1 of the standing orders, today is question for oral answers. Furthermore, as a reminder, order 43 of the standing orders limited supplementary questions to 7 in total, 2 from the honorable member asking the question and 5 among other members. Therefore, the following honorable ministers are scheduled today to appear before the Assembly to answer to questions posed by honorable members regarding their portfolio responsibilities. The Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, and Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy. In accordance with Standing Order 14.3, that is to vary the order of business to start with, I hereby vary the order paper starting with the Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology.
Questions for oral answer by the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology.
Thank you. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology Question number 105/2023 by the member for Talinding Kujang.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, according to the 2022 Consolidated Auditor Report on Government COVID-19 response, a total of $1,134,420 was received by the Gambia Embassy in Algeria in respect of relief package for Gambian students in Algeria. However, the report indicated that there is no evidence of payments of COVID-19 relief packages to students in Algeria. Also, an amount of $1,380,186 was discovered as unused funds amongst Gambian embassies in Beijing, Addis Ababa, Madrid, Abu Dhabi. Could the Honorable Minister inform this Assembly as to why this was the case and what steps his ministry took to ensure that all unused COVID funds are returned to the government coffers?
Honorable Speaker, please be informed that COVID-19 payments were facilitated by a task force that was established at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, in which my ministry had a representative. The task force could not identify all the targeted students. Therefore, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was tasked to work with the embassies and missions to identify these students in their jurisdictions. The student lists were generated from the embassies and missions, and this was what was used to pay. After payment, the Director of Internal Audit went to these embassies and missions to verify these payments. And after the verification, the internal audit raised issues to which the ministry provided some management response as indicated above. We are of the view that the respective embassies and missions should balance their books and refund any unpaid balance to the consolidated fund through the Ministries of Finance and Economic Affairs and Foreign Affairs and Gambians abroad. On 30th September 2020, $1,134,420 was remitted Gambian Embassy in Algeria with a payment advice, Gambia government COVID-19 support to Gambian students in Egypt. Later, the embassy in Algeria reported to have sent an email on 30th September 2020 informing the Accountant General's Department that the embassy did not cover Egypt and that the funds must have been sent in error. The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology did not receive this information, so we were in no position to clarify. Thank you.
Any supplementary?
No supplementary. Thank you.
The member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister inform this August Assembly what constrain the task force to be unable to identify all the beneficiaries of this fund?
Honorable Speaker, when the issue started, the objective was to take care of only the students that are supported by the ministry. That's higher education. But later it was extended to all students studying abroad. And the Ministry of Higher Education could not identify those people because they are not under our purview. So it was coordinated at the Ministry of Finance, and therefore the different embassies in different countries were tasked now to identify those students from those countries. And that's what was sent, and that was the list that was used.
Thank you. Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Minister, the Honorable Member is saying that there is no evidence of payment of COVID-19 relief package to students in Nigeria, and also an amount of 1,380,186.8 budut was discovered as an unused fund among Gambian embassy in Beijing, Addis Ababa.
Speak
Madrid,
a bit louder, please.
Addis Ababa, Madrid, and Abu Dhabi. Honorable Minister, did you authenticate whether this is really there, which is unused? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, we were not the one managing the finance. That is MOHAS. This was done at Ministry of Finance. And then also it was executed by the different embassies. And the list they provided, payment was done against that. So our advice is the different embassies who receive those funds to pay those students if, as identified by the internal audit. So if there were some funds left, it should be sent back to Accountant General and Ministry of Finance. That's our advice.
The member for Banjul Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, my question is relative to his, actually. So I'll just redirect it in a different domain. Then what steps is your ministry taking in making sure that a follow-up is made to ascertain where exactly these funds are?
Yes, we've shared this response already with Finance and Foreign Affairs. And the conclusion, our response is clearly indicating for Finance and Foreign Affairs to work together and ensure that the balance is sent to the consolidated fund. That's our advice. But we cannot go into details because we did not manage the funds.
Thank you. The member for Tumanna.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, did you know that whether there is any plan collectively, because this issue involves ministries, whether there are plans collectively that the government plans to do to remedy the whole situation? Thank you.
Yes, because these are public funds. Therefore, we'll have to get to the bottom of the whole issue. Yes.
Member for Fonye Councillor.
Yes, Minister, I want to get this clear. As per the unidentification of students in other jurisdiction, what is your link within your ministry, higher education, and of foreign affairs, in terms of trying to globalize the entire students in various countries outside?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, this issue was originally, as I said...
Honorable Speaker, point of order. I think the honorable member is bringing new elements. So it's all related to the parent question.
Hello? Hello?
Honorable Speaker, I'm quoting from supplement 43, supplementary questions. Honorable member is asking a question which is not related to parent question. Can you please hear?
Honorable member for Fonye Councillor, sorry about that. Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, thank you very much. What I've said here
just repeat the exact.
There are difficulties in identifying students in abroad that are linked to the identifiable of payments. What I'm saying, what is the link of his ministry and that of foreign affairs of all Gambian students outside to be able to remedy those issues?
Thank you. Can you put off your mic, please? Yes, this one specifically deals with Algeria, and you talking about the entire Gambian students outside.
No, Honorable Speaker.
Please allow me to rule, please. Allow me to rule, please. The member for Lower Salum, member for Opanyomi, please allow me to rule. Please. Your question seems to be a substantive question, asking the number of or how they do to identify the entire Gambian student abroad, while this one deals with Algeria. Therefore, I rule out your question. Thank you.
Yes, Speaker.
Point of observation, Speaker.
Observation, please.
Observation.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Member for Fonye Councillor.
Observation, Speaker.
Observation, please.
Thank you, Honourable Member, please. Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Speaker, observation. No, this one, we want to clarify a few things.
Please, Member for Kiang West, please, I apologize and I appeal. Please. Honourable Minister, thank you very much.
Corrections for oral answer, standing order 36 and 41. Honorable Minister for Agriculture.
Honorable Minister. Question number 086 of 2023 by the member for Fonye Bintang Karanai.
He authorized me to read his question in his behalf.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture inform this August Assembly of his ministry plans to attain food self-sufficiency for the country? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable for Fonye Bondali, representing Fonye Bintang Karanai. To attain food self-sufficiency, the government through the Ministry of Agriculture is modernizing and commercializing agricultural production. Example like cereals, rice and maize, and horticultural crops like onions and tomatoes, as enshrined in the following national policy documents. The National Development Plan 2023-2027, that's the NDP. The CPRISA, which is the Continental Investment Plan for Rice Self-Sufficiency. There is the second generation investment plan, we call it GNAP2, that is the Gambia National Agricultural Investment Plan, and the Horticultural Sector Strategy 2020-2024. All these policies and strategic documents have been formulated to attain self-sufficiency. Using these documents to pursue the following objectives, that is, achieve a higher level of production and productivity, enhance higher level of expansion and development of the food industry subsector, achieve wider and more effective participation and representation of the subsistence farmer, that is the smallholder farmer. Achieving balanced development between the agricultural sector and other sectors of the economy, example, the manufacturing, hotel, tourism, and the tourism industry. To achieve these policies and strategic objectives, the Ministry of Agriculture is implementing several key projects. One of the main flagship projects being the Roots project. The project is being currently implemented in 39 districts and all 6 agricultural regions, reaching 40,000 households, over 320,000 beneficiaries nationwide. This project is supposed to do a whole lot of things to help us attain our food self-sufficiency drive. One of them is to consolidate 1,300 hectares of existing tidal irrigation schemes and develop 2,800 hectares of new irrigation schemes of existing agricultural lands in the CRR. Develop 200 hectares of new wet season valley water control cascaded dikes. And also develop 800 hectares of new micro-catchment runoff control dikes. Establish and strengthen water user management associations. These are the associations that, let's say, farmer associations. Upgrade 20 kilometers of causeways to access 800 hectares of rice-growing swampy areas. That is to improve access to the rice fields. Establishment of about 1,300 hectares of mangroves and 1,400 hectares of community forests. All these and a lot more are under the Roots project. And under the regional rice value, this project is supposed to improve farmer income through livelihood, food and nutrition security, and also to contribute to poverty reduction through increased commercialization of rice in the Gambia. This project will focus on investing in enhancing rice production and productivity. This should be able to address our rice deficit. The project also is involved in the multiplication and dissemination of certified seeds. This includes the provision of climate-smart and high-yield varieties like the Nerica L19 sub-1 and also the Orilock 6. The project is also supports the National Seed Secretariat and also supports the National Research Institute, that is NARI, with 480 kilograms of breeder seeds to produce 7.5 metric tons of foundation seeds and 450 metric tons of certified seeds. And these seeds are of high variety and they are of improved quality so that they can resist, tolerate salty environment, and also they are of high yielding varieties. The project also supports seed trader association networks. It did by giving them 2,201 metric tons of fertilizer. And this is supposed to help increase the production of quality seeds, which should be able to reach about 30,000 farmers. On the agribusiness, market and capacity development, support including the value addition through private sector agro-processing and packaging is very, very imperative to understand that agribusiness is the component that is going to help us move from not only from production but improve our market value, because currently producers are focused on what we eat, but the goal is what we eat and what we sell, and the rice value chain is heavily involved in that value chain. The rehabilitation of Kamalo rice processing mill is part of their plans, and this state-owned has the capacity of 20,000 tons per annum, which will be managed under a PPP arrangement by the PPP unit of the Ministry of Finance. Information system and post-harvest practices. The post-harvest services will include promotion of rice threshers to reduce drudgery of women and youth using these platform services. Currently, this project has delivered 5 power tillers, 2 combined harvesters, and 1 reaper and 1 leveler to 5 youth service centers. And these centers are in Kundam, in Kudang, Kunta and 1 around Damfa Kunda. And these centers are supposed to provide plowing services to the communities to expand and make it possible for us to be food self-sufficient. The project also is supporting farmers, the rice value chain development project, that is the regional rice value. It is involved in providing, actually of recent, this is as recent as last week, the provision of about 10 tractors, also provision of 42 power tillers and accessories. Out of these 42, 30 were distributed last week, 4 were given in Tumana, 3 to Sandu, 4 were given to Pacha, 9 were distributed in Nyani, 4 in Same, 3 in Jimara, and 3 in Wuli East. This was done last week in Sapo. This project is also involved in tidal irrigation and also in land irrigation, 400 hectares at Lower Fuladu West in Pachar. Tidal irrigation, about 40 hectares in Nyani Wasu, 100 hectares in Tubakoto, and 40 hectares in Nyani Sukuda. The project is also involved in pump irrigation and about 200 hectares in Wuli Mambulu. This is a project that they are working on. And also in Limambulu Yamadu, there should also be a development of 200 hectares in Sutukoba and 150 in Tumana, in Kundam Tumana. There are many other schemes that probably are listed below here. All these are under the regional value chain to improve land development and also expand our possibility of rice production, all geared towards getting us to the dream of being rice self-sufficient. Under the Gambia Inclusive, that is the Giraffe project, the project development objective is to promote the development of inclusive resilience and competitive agricultural value chain, focusing on smallholder farmers and agro-businesses in project-targeted areas. It will finance the following main interventions. Development and rehabilitation of 200 kilometers of feeder road. And these roads are supposed to be linked to the giraffe gardens so that there is access between the gardens and the markets. Also is supposed to develop fully equipped 20 women-led agro-business farms and 20 youth-led agro-business farms. And this, by farms we mean gardens, each operating a 5-hectare, totaling 200 hectares, and 100 for women, 100 for youth. Land has already been secured, and soil studies is at its advanced stages. In resilience, all towards answering the question of what the ministry is doing towards food self-sufficiency. 10 community cereal banks constructed and stuffed with food items, that is maize, 1.1 metric tons, peanut 5.4 metric tons, and millet 22 metric tons, and beans about 0.3 metric tons. In a quest to be self-sufficient in food, we first need to be seed secure.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
There's point of order from the nominated member 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. Can we hear your point of order?
I'm rising on order 43, supplementary question. The time taken to ask the supplementary question shall not be no longer than 1 minute, and an answer to a supplementary question shall no longer than 2 minutes. So I think though the minister is raising very important points, but if he exceeded the time, the members are going to raise point of order. So on that note, I'm appealing for him to sort in his intervention.
Thank you.
Nominated member 𝒂𝒂𝒏, you are out of order. This is not supplementary. He's not answering a supplementary question. Honorable Minister, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In the quest to be self-sufficient in food, we first need to be seed secure. Against this background, the National Seed Secretariat has signed a contract with Maru Farms through the support of the Rice Value Chain Project to produce certified seeds of Orilog 6 and Nerica 19, L19, sub 1. That has been promoted by this project. A total of 830 metric tons of certified seeds of these varieties were produced and distributed by the project in consultation with the Department of Agriculture in all the agricultural regions. The National Seed Secretariat as of last week has benefited from the regional rice value chain, a rehabilitated facility of 50 metric tons capacity for certified seeds. They have also benefited from seeders. They have benefited from tracers. All this is to buttress the fact that we can never be rice self-secure if we are not seed secure, because we need quality seeds to get us there. So in summary, these are the things that the ministry is doing to move the Gambia to be rice self-sufficient, these and many other things. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
No, thank you. I don't have any supplement. No, come again?
Yes, I want to be guided.
Huh? Oh.
No. On your ruling, I want to be guided because you said the minister is not answering a supplementary question. What is he answering? Substance. Okay, that's okay.
Yes.
Then I withdraw, Honorable Speaker.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable. Salo? The member for Lower Fuladu West.
Thank you very much for giving me the chance to ask. Honorable Minister, the people of Lower Fuladu feel that these plans are not workable. Fuladu is a rice-growing environment where they used to have 2 seasons. Now they are struggling to even have that season. As I talk to you, farmers are so disparate. So the issue of food self-sufficiency, that plan needs to be revisited by Agri because it's not workable in Lower Fuladu. That is the 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 project. Thank you. No, it's to rephrase the
point of order.
To revisit the plan. Yes.
Honorable member, he's not answering. The question is food self-sufficiency throughout the country. He might have answered that could probably have some areas with your constituency or so, and he may not be able to answer what is happening in each village or in each constituency. So, so it's your question, please.
No, if I'm to be quoted right, this is a plan he's telling what the ministry have in achieving the food sufficiency. Now I'm telling you, in my own constituency, this plan he have just tell us. This is what I'm telling him. Could he have a better plan? Because this plan, we used to have 2 seasons in Lower Fuladu. Now we are even struggling to have that season. Farmers are crying now. So I'm telling him to revisit the plan.
Yes, thank you. Honorable member for North Florida, I'm so not only him but all of us will note your opinion. Thank you. Thank you. The member for Lower South.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. What is the duration of the roots? In your submission, you quote the roots project. What is the duration of the root project? And there is a project for land development. And already in Nyantal, there is a land development which is unfinished. And now you are bringing another why don't you finish the first?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Follower. Yes, I don't agree that the land development in in Nyantangle. I am not sure if you are up to date with what is happening at Nyantangle. I think as we speak, there is transplanting going on, and they will be producing in this dry season in Nyantangle. So yes, there are other areas that has land development issues. But I think I have said this in my last appearance. Part of our new policy is we must redo the lands that we have touched first before we will redo any new land development. So part of the hectare that you hear me pronounce will include areas, for example, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒏𝒆𝒍, Damfakunda, and all those areas that were touched by the AMMENMEN5 project, and the land development wasn't satisfactory. The policy is to redo those new lands before we touch any new land. But yes, Nyantangle should be at the stage of transplanting for dry season production. Thank you.
Nominated member Kebala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Honorable Minister for taking answering the question. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister tell the August Assembly the anticipated quantifiable yield from the various sites he listed, noting any gap towards food self-sufficiency with a verifiable time frame to indicate when do we actually expect the Gambia to be food self-sufficient? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. If I get the question right, I'm not sure if I understood it, but the last portion you asked is when is the Gambia expected to be food self-sufficient? Please, I think it would be great if you read.
Thank you. What I'm saying is the policy is very good, but listening keenly, we've had the hectarage, but the anticipated yield, that is the targeted returns from those yields, were not set. So we want to know, like, what is the anticipated yield from those hectares we are talking about? If at all there are any gaps between what we anticipate to harvest and what is the demand in the market, can we know those gaps? And in actual terms, when do we expect the Gambia to be food self-sufficient? Those are the components to the question. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, nominated member, I think his question is, when is the Gambia expected to attain full self-sufficiency? Nominated member, am I right?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable nominated member. I think the question is, first, what is the anticipated output from these plants? The output depends largely on how climate will treat us. Two, also on the seed variety and quality that is used. Of course, giving all inputs equal. The seed that we are introducing now, like I said, has the capacity to produce up to 7 tons per hectare. 2022-2023, the Gambia produced about 56,000 tons of rice, and our target is 200,000 tons. That is the target because that is the amount that this country is consuming, 100%. So that brought us to just little over 20% currently where we are, from about 16-17% 2 years ago. Nonetheless, the target is to produce 200,000 tons. And if all factors are equal, 15,000 hectares should be able to provide 7 tons per hectare, will be able to get us there. But if all things are equal, I think 2025, 2026, Gambia should be able to be rice self-sufficient. That is different from being food self-sufficient. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you for that explicit response. but going through the response, I'm not very much comfortable. Don't you think the issue of PPP, targeting youths in the commercial production, will give us the opportunity to have self-food sufficiency, not in a form of projects? And secondly, do you think contracting loan on behalf of the Gambia and giving to a project will really help us to attain?
One question only. Honorable? No. Honorable member? No. No. His first question.
To be honest, I think he has buried his first question in the second one, so I really missed that. So I would be happy if you can just ask one question at a time.
Yes,
I get it clear.
Your member for Brikama, please ask your first question.
Okay, my first question is, I just want to ask whether, providing PPP, targeting youth in the commercial agriculture will really provide us the self-food sufficiency. Do you agree with that?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Member for Brikama South. Yes, I agree with you that involving youths in commercial agriculture is the way to go, and in fact, I think is the only way to go. And I think that explains why I said earlier that part of the materials that the rice value chain provided to these 5 youth centers that I mentioned earlier, I think that is part of the plan. And also, talks are already ongoing for the possibility of establishing or piloting what we call youth farms. I've been to Rwanda, I've seen this thing, it worked there, and it worked very well in some East African countries. So it's something that is in the plans, but I agree with you that youth are a key part of our drive to food self-sufficiency. Thank you.
Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I heard in your response, spoke about the Kamalo plant. Is it currently owned by a government or it is still on a private?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable for Joshua. The Kamalo plant, like I said, is owned jointly by the Social Security, the ports, and I'm sure there is another stakeholder, but it is not owned privately. It is owned by different government entities. It is not owned by one government entity. So our role is, with the project, is to work with those entities to rehabilitate it because it has the capacity to process up to 20,000 tons of rice. But yes, it is owned by government, but not by one government entity. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 087 of 2023. By the Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏.
Thank you very much, Speaker. The Honorable Member.
By the Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏.
Yes, he informed me to step on her behalf.
Yes. Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much.
For 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, that this question should be and can be redirected to the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service as the ministry responsible for personnel affairs. The Ministry of Agriculture does not recruit or post permanent secretaries. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 088, 2023.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Speaker, could the Minister of Agriculture inform this August Assembly when would the Ministry provide boreholes for the village gardens of 𝒔𝒔 and block in Fonyi Berefet constituency.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Fonyi Councillor. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet that the two communities, that is 𝒔𝒔 and Block, have applied for the matching grant through the Regional Agricultural Office of Giraffe and Roots Project. Screening and shortlisting is in progress at the CPCU, and we hope they will meet the criteria and qualify. In the meantime, our services, our new policy is demand-driven. I will encourage that they continue to write to the Department of Agriculture through the regional office in West Coast for possible assistance. Thank you.
Supplementary?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture tell this August Assembly of his ministry's plan, if any, to help the women's gardeners in my constituency, that is Banjulinding, Yundum, Busumbala, Lamen, Mandinaring, Kubariko, and Makumbaya, Babylon, respectively?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable, for Busumbala. Honorable Speaker, please allow me to inform my honorable member for Busumbala constituency that the recently closed GCAF project has supported Mandinari village with a 5-hectare state-of-the-art vegetable garden. However, for the remaining villages, I will recommend my honorable member for Busumbala to advise the remaining villages to liaise with the existing projects and Department of Agriculture. As to our support is now based on demand-driven approach. So in summary, it's still the same. It's to advise them to write to the Department of Agriculture or the projects, that is Roots project and the Giraffe project, which there was a window to apply for matching grants regarding gardens. I will still encourage you to liaise with the communities to contact the Department of Agriculture for possible assistance. Thank you, Honorable.
Any supplementary, Honorable Member? Member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what criteria did the ministry use to allocate, garden to women in certain communities? In certain communities, he mentioned.
Please, put your mic off, please. Your mic is on. Now, honorable member, the question is in Busumbala constituency. Okay. No, certain community. No.
Please, no. I'm not going to reframe it because there are certain communities that he mentioned.
Honorable member, please, thank you. Sit down. Your question is ruled out. Honorable, please, let's proceed. Please, Honorable. The member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, looking at the garden in Banjulunding, there is a vast land that's already available there. What are your plans to make it into good use?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. If I had your question right, you said there is a vast land at the Banjulunding garden that is not being put to use. Thank you. I think the garden is a community garden, and it is the community we expect to utilize the garden. However, mainly we know it is the women that are engaged in vegetable production, especially in Banjulunding area. I think I will liaise with our Department of Agriculture. I'm sure they will talk to our regional office in West Coast to find out why the land is not completely put to use. And once that is identified, we will work out a plan, whether it is a fence issue, a water issue, whatever it is, the department will advise. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, if you don't mind, I can give you...
Honorable, please. Member for Fonye Kansala.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, can we be guided in terms of writing to the Department of Agriculture, either giraffe? What do you think must be basic criteria of getting assistance of those gardens? Within the communities mentioned.
Honorable member for...
No, can you hear my question clearly, please?
I heard you clearly.
I said, can we be guided?
No, it's okay. Thank you. I heard you clearly.
No, the minister said we write. We want to be guided in writing to those.
Please, Honorable, yes. Please, I appeal. Sit down, please. Is that all? Your question is ruled out. The member for Fonyi Jarol.
Thank you for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, are you aware that part of the land of 𝒂𝒊𝒏 Women Garden is being sold or been taken away?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable for Fonyi Jarol.
Point of
yes.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, point of order 43.4. The Honorable Member is asking a question which is not related to the parent question. It's not. It's not.
So you have to listen to questions.
No, your question is ruled out. You know, that question is not part of the substantive question. Please, thank you. Yes, thank you. Question number 090 of 2023 by the member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The purpose of asking question, the purpose is divided. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture update this August Assembly on the level of implementation of Roots project, especially cold store in Lower Salem constituency for the women couples, and what should be their counterpart contributions to the project?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable for Lower Salem. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Member for Lower Salem constituency that the Roots project is behind schedule, primarily because of failure of donors so far to make the funds they pledge available in full. Through the project, although the project is making good progress, despite that challenge, with its limited funds available, this includes the 3 cold storage facilities in question. The cold store in Kaur will be completed in April. The beneficiaries are expected to contribute 20% of the total cost of the $2.8 million. The 20% includes the value of the land provided. Honorable Speaker, may I also inform the Honorable Member that his people are very much on top of the issue relating to these cold storage facilities. Thus, I would like to refer him to Hiwal Marketing Federation, the beneficiary in his constituency, for further information. But just to add to that, regarding these cold storage facilities and 20% co-pay for beneficiaries, which has proven to be a major stumbling block in the progress of certain projects en route. About a month or so ago, I and my team, we were in Rome, Italy. We had a meeting with IFAD. And one of the main things that was put on the desk is to request for early midterm. And in the early midterm is where we can make substantial changes in project documents. And one of the changes we have requested and intend to pursue is to reduce the 20% beneficiary copay, because it has proven very hectic to our local communities. So just to inform you, we are fully aware of those challenges and we are pursuing them, and hopefully during the midterm, we will be able to make these substantial changes in the project document. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Minister. So essentially, the project is failing. Honorable Speaker, on his submission, he says the counterpart is 20%. But I'm putting to the minister is 25%. That's equivalent to $525,000 that women should pay for that cold store. And today, the way the cold store is, and it should be integrated in November 2022, and now he said April. What's the cause of that?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Follow Asylum. I think the cause of the delay has been explained in my first paragraph when I was reading the answers. That the cause of delay in execution of Roots project has a lot more to do with the availability of the funds from the donors. May I just take this opportunity to explain briefly to you that the flagship Roots project that you hear about 80 million, in reality, it is definitely not anywhere close to that. We are in the almost 2.5 years into this, almost 2 years. What has been disbursed by the donors last year was 5 million, and before that was less than that. So overall, the total number of funds disbursed to Roots are still less than 10 million, thereabout US dollars. So it's an issue of funds being available. The working plan that was delivered by the Roots team this year, it's about 15 million US dollars. But we are pretty sure that the disbursement is almost always less than what their work plan is. And this has led to this delay. But yes, it's not only peculiar to Kaur cold storage, it is to all the 3 cold storage. We are aware of that. And the project is doing its best to make sure the cold storage facility is finished by April. Thank you.
Any further questions?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You mean actually it's not $80 million project. Now, can you briefly tell us this August Assembly, what's the actual figure of this project?
Thank you. I think when we say 80 million, these were pledges. So since you are asking for specific for this August gathering, I would humbly request that this be done by writing to be submitted to this August gathering, because to give you specific numbers, I would rather do that in consultation with my team and the project management. Thank you.
Member for Kiang West. Honorable Minister, don't you think all the other projects concerning route would fail if they depend on the loans?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. I don't think he asked a question. I think he wanted to make a statement. I think I've heard his statement. Well, then you want me to say what I think? You're asking for opinion.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister,
Honorable Speaker, you have not informed me about my question. Whether you've ruled it out or the minister wouldn't answer that.
Yes, rule out. Yes.
All right, thank you. No, that's fine. We are dealing with last time.
The member for Brikama South.
Honorable Minister, the Roots project has a funding gap of 20 million. What are you doing as a government to recover that? And are you also, is the project also phasing out in 2026?
Ask two questions. Honorable Member for Brikama South, one question, please. Mr. Answer his first question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Brikama South. I think the first question said, Roots project has a funding gap of 20 million, and what is the ministry doing or the government to fill the gap? A very good question, thank you. First, we went to Rome to discuss this funding gap, and replenishment 12 is supposed to help fill part of the gap, and also the pledges that were made, because IFAD is managing this fund. They are not the sole donors to this project, and they are not the only people who pledge. So funds like the JEF fund and the other funds, since IFAD is the people managing the funds, we've vigorously asked them to pursue those who made the pledges, and they've promised to revitalize their relationship with JEF Fund and other funders so that this gap can be filled. But even for IFAD itself, it is supposed to put in about $9 million from what we call replenishment 12. That is every year, the entire world pledges, is called, and that of last year was called replenishment 12. So they're supposed to get an amount from that replenishment for our funding gap. So that and many other things are what we are currently pursuing to fill the funding gap for Roots project. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you spoke about delay in receiving funds. I say you spoke about delay in receiving funds. My question is it from your end that you are not meeting their targets for funds to be disbursed, or what's the problem?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable for Joshua. Most projects, if you understand, activities are not single donor funded. Let's say if you say land development and it's funded by IFAD, funded by JEF, funded by another donor. So it's multi-donor funding and activity. And if one donor's funds are available, but donor B's funds are not available, that means there is a delay in executing that project. So overall, it is not from the project team in the Gambia. Funding delay is mainly from the donor. We have not had any issues locally to be responsible for the delay in funds. We've identified the issues to be related to multiple donor funding a project, and we've learned this in even our regional rice value, and we're trying to decouple multiple donors in a single activity. That way, you do what you can do so that we get going, and when B is ready, we can also do what B can do. that has been a challenge in the project designs, and I think it's a learning curve for us, but that is what is responsible for the delay. Thank you.
Nominated member Kebalang Fofana.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I will withdraw my question. It's already been asked by Honorable Joshua. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, don't you think if the good amount of money which is available to the routes is being spent on flashy cars, considering the, don't you think the project will achieve no its aim, considering the meager resources at their disposal? Thank you.
I put the Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable, for Lower Badibu. When you say don't, I think the meager resources that they have, if used properly, will be able to get us to our target. I think the resources are being used properly. It's not like I think. In fact, I'm very sure they are being used properly. And they are not enough to get us to our goal, because the project design was based on a certain amount. And if that amount is not available, let's say if you say you want our goal to develop 1,300 hectares of land, and so on and so forth. But that was based on an amount. So if the funding is not forthcoming and you think that meager resource will get us to our goal, I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 091 of 2023 by the member for Lower Salom.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture?
Honorable member, can you please pick up a bit loud so that for Hansard?
Okay, thank you. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture inform this August Assembly the reasons for the higher cost of cooking oil when there is an oil processing plant at GGC?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable, for Lower Salom. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Member for Lower Salom constituency that it is true that the GGC has processing plants. The processing plants currently GGC has are one, the selling plant, and also the crossing plant. The crossing plant presses the peanuts or groundnuts to generate crude oil and groundnut cake for animal feed. Therefore, the oil they currently gets from the groundnut is in its crude form with impurities, which cannot be consumed due to its health implications. The crude is therefore exported to companies that has refinery capacities. And when I say this, I want people to get this right. When we say impurities, it's just once it is pressed, it is not in its pure form, it cannot be consumed directly, it needs refinery. So the GGC does not have refinery capacity. But Mr. Speaker, the GGC has done a feasibility study to look at refinery possibilities in the Gambia. And the bill totaled 16 million to be able to do refinery and packaging line. The GGC is still looking for financing for this project, and we hope the National Assembly can help advocate for this to be a reality, as it will significantly reduce the cost of cooking oil in the country and improve our lives through consumption of healthy and edible oil. But just to add to that, GGC, knowing its mandate, was involved in the importation of cooking oil. And through their effort, a 20-liter cooking oil was reduced from 2,200 to 1,710. And that was thanks to the 137 containers of cooking oil that they imported in this country. And they intend to stay in that business, to make a dent in the pricing in the country, until at such a time when we can refine our peanut to purity. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, for record purpose, you indicated an amount of $16 million or what? Mike.
16 million US dollars will be required to build the refinery, to do oil refinery in the country.
Thank you. Any supplementary?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, what's the essential? What is the mandate of the geese now buying our peanuts? And at the end of the, buying the peanuts, what do they do for that peanuts now?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable. I think if I had your question right, you say now, what is the purpose of GGC buying our groundnuts? One, they press it and get the crude oil, which, if exported, earns this country foreign currency that we need. That's one. Two, once the nuts are pressed, the product is the cake, which is an essential component of our animal feed, which is direly needed in our small ruminant industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I challenge you this. Still, the peanuts are exported to China because there is a company that buys this peanut through GGC to export to China. I challenge you this.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think I want to make it very clear to the Honorable Member. In fact, China is not a market that the Gambian groundnut goes to. So just for the record, for the purpose of the records, our groundnut does not go to China, 100%. We do not access the Chinese market. Our peanuts don't go directly from Gambia to China. They may go to any other third country, but we are not accessing the Chinese market, for the records.
Thank you. Nominated Member Kebalang Fofana.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I think this is very, very important. We are saying we need to move the Gambia to a productive base. So I'll be brief with my questions. Since the feasibility study was done and the target value is known, what is the ministry doing currently to ensure that we have this processing plant?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Nominated Member. I think first, the GGC is talking with several private individuals or companies that have the capacity and the interest in this industry. And one of them is a South African company that was at my office, and we are discussing with private operators to go into a PPP with GGC to be able to actualize this. But as a ministry, given the budget constraint for which all of you are aware, $16 million does not exist under the budget of the Ministry of Agriculture or an institution like the GGC. So the ministry and the GGC are vigorously looking for private players in this field to go into a PPP with. Thank you.
Member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. As the common saying goes, Africa produces what it eats and eats what it does not produce. Why are we not selling this oil in our country here, the Gambia, but we choose to export this oil?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable, for Fonyi Bintang. I don't know if I will just repeat what I said, because I say we don't have refinery capacity. We cannot refine the crude oil to its state that you and I can consume. So the state at GGC now is to press the nuts and get the oil in its crude form. So it has to send it to a refinery to be refined to a state that we can consume. The cake goes to animal feed. We wish we can sell it to in the market, but in its current state, it is not edible. Thank you.
Member for Fonyi Councillor.
Thank you, the Minister. The amount for the refinery is known, about 60 million, as you have said. Do you have any plan that next year you will include it in the budget for us to see how best it is incorporated?
I think for me this is a welcome news that the honorable member is inviting the ministry to put it in the budget and leave it to the National Assembly to carry. So yes, I will take your challenge, and I will encourage our technocrats to put it in the budget, and hopefully it will get approved and we don't need a PPP. Thank you very much.
Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, are you aware that the animal feed that you get from the DCCI camp, 90% of most of it is exported to Senegal and is sold to the Gambia again?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Honorable Member for Joshua. No, I've not been aware that most of it gets sent to Senegal. However, I will engage my team to find out if most of it gets sent to Senegal and why it gets sent to Senegal, and then we'll devise a plan to make sure Gambia first. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 092 of 2023 by the member for Upper Salom, and I've been informed that he authorized the member for Nyani to read on his behalf.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I'm here to read the question on behalf of the member for Upper Salom. Honorable Speaker, reports have shown that the ��𝒄𝒄𝒏 Farms, a privately owned farm in the Combos, can supply onions and potatoes to the Gambia population for almost 6 months in the year. Would the Honorable Minister for Agriculture confirm to this August Assembly if government plans to create farms through a public-private partnership to reduce agricultural food importations?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Nyani. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Member for Upper Salom that the Ministry believes that the private sector should take a major part in our drive to food self-sufficiency and work with other government institutions to promote private investment in the agricultural sector. We are currently in a PPP with Maru Farms, and this farm provides plowing services and post-harvest operations to farmers in the CRR and in fact up to the URR. As we speak, plans are advanced to engage Q group that intend to put over 1,000 hectares under cultivation, and this group is also going to go under a PPP arrangement with the Ministry of Agriculture and the government. So yes, our doors are open for PPP arrangement, especially in agriculture, and these few ones I mentioned are already active. That's like Maru Farms, and there are a few that are in the pipeline. But yes, that is the plan so far, to encourage the involvement of the private sector, because their participation is not only key, but it's absolutely necessary, because where countries have attained full self-sufficiency, the private sector was in the forefront. Thank you.
Any supplementary?
No supplementary question.
Member for Fonyi Bintankrana.
Honorable Minister, do you have any plan to subvent the private farmers, especially those that want to involve into such productions in large scales?
Honorable, can you repeat your question again?
Honorable Minister, do you have any plans to subvent them financially? The private farmers, I mean.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member for Fonyi Councillor. Fonyi Bintang. I think when you say private farmers, you are almost talking about every farmer in this country is a private farmer. So I don't think it's feasible to subvent every farmer in this country, one. because the budget would not exist for us to subvent all the private farmers. That is almost every farmer in the Gambia. So the budget would not allow us to be able to do that. However, if you meant to say major farmers, let's say the PPPs, the Maru farms, the SMCs, those kind of farms, we are already giving them some assistance. That is, like I said, Maru farms currently has 20 tractors that we are given by the government of the Gambia. And they are operating these tractors, providing plowing farms services to thousands of farmers in the CRR and the URR at a cost that is minimal compared to the private owners of tractors. Some of our projects, for example, the rice value chain, distributed free fertilizer and also has done a whole lot of training for most of the operators in these major farming centers. Let's say, for example, Maru farms. So if you meant to say those kind of farms, we do have an arrangement with them and we give them assistance.
Thank you, Minister.
Yes, thank you.
Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I think we can only attain this, or we cannot attain this in action of the availability of lands. What are your plans on most of these agricultural lands are now changed to other uses?
Honorable Member? No. Rule out.
Why, Speaker? It's important because it's about land.
Thank you.
And agricultural lands are now change of, most of them are now in change in use.
Please. Nominated Member 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 Fofana.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to refer the Minister to the present question. Although what the Honorable Member for Upper Salem did was more or less an opinion, but I want confirmation from the Minister as to whether indeed he can confirm that Karafi Farms, a privately owned farm in Kumbus, can supply onions and potatoes to the Gambia for a period of 6 months. And if so, what protection is the Ministry providing to them as an incentive? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Nominated Member. This question is best asked to the Ministry of Trade. They are the ones that keep figures of the number of onions that get imported in this country and also the amount of onions that the Karafi farm is producing. The last time I got informed is they are producing nearly 2,000 tons, which this country, as of the last record I have, is importing about 12,500 tons. So that is less than 20%. It's just about 15% of the onion consumption in this country. So if it represents 15% of the onions we consume, obviously it cannot supply the country for 6 months. But nonetheless, I think substantively, this data is housed at the Ministry of Trade, and they will have a more up-to-date and better answer. Thank you.
Any other supplementary? Thank you. Question number 093 of 2023 by the member for Nyamina Dankunku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the NEMA project under the Ministry of Agriculture phased out, leaving most vegetable garden incomplete across the country. Could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture explain to this August Assembly what plan does his ministry have to complete one of this NEMA garden project in the Gisadi village in Nyamina Dankunku constituency, to be specific? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankunku. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankunku constituency that the Roots project has come to build on the gains of the NEMA project and is to complete the incomplete gardens left by the NEMA project. I therefore advise my honorable member for Nyamina Dankungu to link with the Roots Project Coordinator in Central River Region for further information regarding what is the project's plan for specifically that garden he's talking about in Gisadi village. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, you think there is, I believe now there should be a contradiction because you already inform us. The root project itself is far away behind, meaning what was costed in the original root project itself, they have a problem of funding. How would your ministry now rely on a route to complete a project that were not designed in the root project?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable for Nyamina Dankungu. I don't think we have ever said that the Gisadi garden or any other garden is not designed in the roots project. And just because there is funding delay or funding gap, we cannot specifically say the gap affects the garden project in Gisadi. And that is why you are being advised to be in touch with the Roots Project Coordinator in CRR South. That is the one covering Nyamina Dankungu. I'm sure he will give you first-hand information as to what the Roots Project coverage and plans for and possibilities for Gisadi. I will still insist that we advise you to contact the Roots Project Coordinator in CRR and establish what they possibly can do. And if it is clear to you that the Roots Project from their end, that Gisadi will not be able to get help because of funding issues, I will advise that you write to the Director General, Department of Agriculture, who are the primary supervisors of garden operations in this country, for further action. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. That was the first thing I did before I write my parliamentary question, was to liaise with your team in Wasama, in Sinsiara, and then there I got all the information. You are having a problem of funding. In fact, you started, started completing other gardens, but the money involved were too much, meaning your ministry already have a problem how to complete this garden. I already did that.
Remember, please ask any further supplementary? Any other supplementary? Oh, the member for Lower Salo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The rules has a constraint of disbursement of monies to complete roots itself as a project. Why now, Honorable Speaker, Minister, why roots is now trying to complement the NEMA failed project on the monies that are not available?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Lower Salum. Actually, you cannot say why Roots is complementing NEMA. NEMA phased out, and the design of the Roots project, when it was being designed, was designed to pick from where NEMA stopped and move on. So it is not like complementing NEMA is phased out, and it was designed to pick up from that spot and move on, and that's exactly what they are doing. Thank you. They are not complementing NEMA actually. They are just picking up from where NEMA ended and moving on.
Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, wasn't there any sustainability plan for the NEMA project instead of the route complementing or starting from where route stops, NEMA stops?
Thank you very much. I think when I read the answer there, it said for routes complete the incomplete NEMA gardens. So if something is incomplete, we have not reached the stage of sustainability. They are supposed to complete the incomplete NEMA gardens first. And I think that's what they are doing. But yes, you are extremely right, Honorable Member for Kia. Sustainability is very important, and it has been lacking in most operations, not only in the gardens. I will urge honorable members to join us in this crusade, because you are the people who are connected to the grassroots, the primary beneficiaries of these gardens. And most gardens, there are committees set for beneficiaries to have a plan, that is a sustainability plan. It is very hard to execute and maintain, but I think your involvement will be crucial in this. But to answer your question, once a garden is complete, a committee is usually set, rules are set as to who the beneficiaries are and the terms, and that involves sustainability. However, most of these NEMA gardens we are talking about, they were incomplete. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The member for 𝒂𝒐𝒏.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Honorable Minister, you did inform this August Assembly that the route is designed to take over from that of the NEMA project. Did the beneficiaries are aware of this? Whether the beneficiaries are in consultation with this idea of route being designed to take over from NEMA?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Member for 𝒂𝒐𝒏. I think in the project design, I'm pretty sure that yes, there is an extensive consultation when a project is being designed, and that includes the beneficiaries. Pretty sure they are aware that, and it's, of course, it's almost public knowledge that the routes is supposed to pick up from where NEMA stopped, and beneficiaries are fully aware of that, definitely. Thank you.
Member for Joshua.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, with regards to the NEMA project, was it a failed project or it doesn't meet the targets that it's supposed to meet?
Thank you very much. No, it was not a failed project. I'm sure all of you are aware that projects are designed with a time span. That you are, just like the routes, you have a 5-year time span or a 6-year period. And in the process, works may not be complete. So NEMA has done very great in this country. They've done a lot. There are so many projects that they have completed, but there were so many gardens also that were incomplete. So we will not describe it as a failed project. We will just describe it as time elapsed and they phased out. Thank you.
Member for Talinding Kunjang.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister left me confused when he said the implementation of the project is not completed and the project phased out. I tend to wonder, because from the conceptions of projects, there is sustainability plan and all those things. How was that the case? How was it possible that it phased out when it wasn't implemented fully?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable, for Talinding. I think this is a very good question. However, I really don't have on-hand answers for you. NEMA has been a project a couple of years ago, and I'm not up to date as to why they phased out before completion of some of their planned activities. This is something that I will engage the CPCU, that is the unit responsible for coordinating projects and their activities, and it's an answer that I will be personally interested in too. So I would indulge, appeal that you understand to give time to CPCU to get us answers as to why NEMA phased out before some of those gardens were completed. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 094 of 2023 by the member for Kiang East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture inform this August Assembly about the Ministry's plans to establish vegetable gardens in communities in Kabada, Kiang East?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Kiang East. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Member for Kiang East constituency that there are plans to establish a 5-hectare garden in Sibito, which is a village in your community. This is going to be a youth-led agro-business farm that is supported by the Giraffe Project. To add on to that, the LRR as a region is one of the greatest beneficiaries of these giraffe gardens. LRR single-handedly is going to get 7, and communities like Sare Musa, Jifarong, and some others are part of this list. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to put it to the Honorable Minister that non-resettlements or communities he mentioned are in Kiang East. Sibito is in Kiang Center. My question is specifically about Kiang East. Thank you.
I think if I read your question right, you said Kabada, communities in Kabada. Okay. Well, specifically, these 7 gardens that are going to LRR, the communities I'm sure have been mentioned, which you said does not include Kiang East. Like I said in a previous answer, our services are demand-driven. So I would recommend and advise you, the Honorable Member, to be in touch with our Department of Agriculture and also the Giraffe Project team and place a demand for the community's need vis-a-vis vegetable gardens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Member for Kiang West.
Withdrawn. I've withdrawn my question.
Member for Busumbala.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Minister, you often inform this August Assembly that these garden projects are demand-driven. Like the community must demand before they can, have it. Do you do a feasibility study as a ministry to know the communities that are there in need of these services so that you can, provide it to them? Do you?
Honorable Member, the question the member for Kiang is asked is that project in Kabada, and not only in his constituency, but in the specific area of Kabada and Kiang East.
Can I reframe it then?
No, sir.
And restrict it to Kabada, the Kiang East context. All right. Thank you. Honorable Minister, did your ministry have a policy to get into the constituency of Kiang East and establish the villages that are there in need of these gardenings and provide it to them? Do you?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member. It is not easy to go to a a community and you establish that they need a garden, I think the communities must establish that they need a garden, and then they approach the department through the regional office that they need a vegetable garden, and that is why I said our services will be demand-driven. But for us to be able to go to a community and establish that this community needs a garden, they may not.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you.
Nominated Member Kebalang Fofana.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, during your response to the question posed by the member for Kiang East, you did make referral to the giraffe project. And then we are also aware that we do have the roots project at agriculture. So can the Honourable Minister really help this House to know what is the implementation zone of the giraffe and the roots project so that members can be guided in posing their questions, since the projects are demand-driven? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and thank you, Honourable. Speaker is on. Sorry.
Nominated Member, I want to thank you. When you ended your question, you realized that you are probably okay. The member for Kiang East asked project in his constituency, not in the Kabada, specifically Kabada in his constituency. So, yes, please.
Honourable Speaker, what I'm saying here is, yes, the question is specific about Kabada, but the giraffe project is a general one. The coverage goes beyond Kabada. Reference was made to the giraffe project by the minister. That's why we are asking him to enlighten us. Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Nominated Member. I think your question specifically asked for what is the coverage for the giraffe project. It is operating in the 39 constituencies, and that is from the West Coast all the way to the URR. So any of those communities should be able to access the services that giraffe may be providing. Thank you.
Question number 095 of 2023 by the member for Fonyi Bondali.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Agriculture inform this August Assembly the Ministry's plan to develop community women garden in Nyefimba, Nyefinding, Kayabor and the surrounding villages, as well as maintenance of existing ones in Bondali Jola, Bantanjang and Bulengat?
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Member for Fonyi Bondali. Honourable Speaker, may I inform the Honourable Member for Fonyi Bondali constituency that these communities, that is Nyafinba, Nyafinding, Kayabor, Bondali Jola, Bulengat, and Bantanjang, have applied for the matching grant through the Regional Agricultural Office to the Giraffe and the Roots project. Screening and shortlisting is already in progress at the CPCU, and we hope they will benefit from one of them. However, I'm also pleased to inform you that one of your communities, that is Bondali, Santamba, specifically Bondali Jola, will be benefiting from the 5-hectare drip irrigated modern agricultural gardens from the Giraffe project. Thank you.
Thank you. No supplementary, but I hope they all get it.
Remember for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honourable Minister, the Honourable Member is asking for The other leg of the question is not much clear in your answer. That is the maintenance of the existing ones in Bondali Jola, Bulengat, and Bantanjang. Are you thinking of rehabilitating them or maintaining them? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable, for 𝒂𝒑𝒏. This is a very, very important question because I'm sure all of you get people come to your office about their garden having water problem or fencing. As of a week or two, I have discussed with the Director General, Department of Agriculture, those with challenge of garden fence. But also there are gardens that are established already, but the water they are having currently is not enough for their operations. This is something that we are fully aware of, and the Department of Agriculture is taking requests as they come. And then based on the budget that was allocated from the National Assembly, we will look at what is possible and what the priorities will be. So I will still go back to my answer that the communities do this on a demand-driven basis, that if communities have this challenge, let them directly write to the Director General, Department of Agriculture, so that these things are tabulated. And once we sit down to look at what the budget is, those communities would already have been identified. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for answering those questions. Thank you. Clerk.
Questions for oral answer by the Honorable Minister for Trade, Regional Integration and Employment.
Thank you. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment by Honorable members for oral answers. Question number 0253. Question number 0253 of 2022 by the member for Central Badibu. And I understand he has given an authority to the member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, tell this August Assembly if the Ministry has plans to promote trade in Lumos, that is weekly market, across the country. Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member for Central Badibu constituency. Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that part of my ministry's mandate is to promote the development of domestic trade in the country by ensuring that our producers have access to markets. This will boost production and serve as a springboard to expand the country's export performance, as highlighted in the National Trade Policy 2018-2022. As part of our agenda to promote domestic trade, the Ministry is currently finalizing a domestic trade strategy that will guide efforts in promoting domestic trade in the country, including Lumos. The focus of this strategy will be on building production capacities as well as trade and market infrastructures to support trade in the sub-region. My ministry, through Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, GAIPA, is also working with partners to formalize Lumos by developing designated sites. The identified sites would be supported by an integrated business service center. Such centers would provide, among other, business counseling, coaching, and financial literacy. They will also facilitate business-to-business dealings and make follow-ups on such deals to support their fruition. In August this year, or this was August last year, GAIPA, with the support of partners, laid the foundation of a one-stop shop entrepreneurship center in Farafenye which is an integrated business service center to provide business development services to businesses, including those in the Lumos. The Farafenni Lumo would now be relocated close to this site to allow the traders at the Lumo to access the services of the center. Honorable Speaker, it is my ministry's plan to replicate this in all the regions in the country, considering that Lumos exist almost in every region. Since most of the commodities involved in Lumos are mainly agricultural produce, my ministry has plans to work on the development of agropoles in key agricultural centers around the country to promote the development of agricultural value chains. Agropoles are integrated agricultural value chain development centers to provide agricultural engineering services, processing, packaging, storage, and marketing services. Such centers would support the development of Lumos. Thank you.
Any supplementary? Please, you may go ahead.
Thank you once again. How soon would you embark on the development of the Lumos across the country?
Honorable Speaker and Honorable Member, we have started work on the engineering aspect of the new structure, the new modern structure. Those familiar with the Lumo in Farafenni would understand that the ITC, the International Trade Center, had started work on a particular structure to improve the condition of the Lumo. But that does not satisfy the anxiety in the ministry. We are improving on that model, and the first one we have already secured financing since my last tour, and this one is going to be given to the people of Jara in Jara Bureng. Will be the first one that we are rolling out. So that is going to be the beginning, and it's going around the country. All the Lumos in this country, we want to see modernized with facilities like storage, cold storage. So when they sell their vegetables in the evening, they have storage facilities to keep them. If they are too late in the Lumo, they should have accommodation. They should have modern abattoirs. There should be sanitary facilities so that people don't openly defecate around the Lumo. So it's one structure that is going to be a modern facility for people to, even financial houses, the microfinance institution should be given a corner where they can receive savings and also allow withdrawals during Lumo days. So this is the system we are working on. The structure is being done by GAMWorks and my ministry, and we have already secured funding to have one sample, which we are doing in Jara Bureng, like I said. Thank you.
Any further, that's all? Member for Joshua.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, when you talk of Lumos, you think of the provinces. What are your ministry plans in bringing Lumos back to bring it to the Combos and the Greater Banyu area, and especially in Old Jusan, where we have a proposed available space for it?
Honorable Speaker, thank you for that question, Honorable Member for Joswang, and thanks for the information that we have space in Joswang where we can have a Lumo. If you look at the concept note that we developed, we said we want to bring a Sunday market to the Combos. A couple of days ago, I was talking with a couple of ministers about the problem with the dump site in Bakote, and that it's one spot my ministry is looking at for the first comprehensive, fully developed mall on a business enterprise that people will now go to on a Sunday and a Saturday, and that's where probably you will inbuild a Lumo structure. But if you have land in Old Joswang that we can utilize, that information will be shared with our technicians, and we probably will be considering that so that the backwater dump site is
targeted. If government approves that through the Ministry of Local Government, that can be the mall, and we have the Lumo in Old Joswang. We will welcome that.
Question number.
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for that laudable initiative. You've spoken about the structures, the development in terms of structures. The question is about plans. Apart from enhancing the structural facilities and all those things, what other plans do you have with regards to the promoting lumos? We know you have other people coming from across the country, other parts of the country, but indigenous tradesmen and women, what other plans do you have to make them, to make their produce more affordable and other things in the...
Well, Honorable Speaker, I will, the lumos are structures we are talking about. Yes, the activities that take place there have been going on and will continue even with the modern system. It's going to be traders who move between lumos on a daily basis, moving right up to URR and coming down, weekly. That activity will continue. What plans the ministry has to encourage that? The modernized facility is in itself an attraction. An attraction is also security. It provides security for them. It provides the ability for them to preserve their products and sell them at another day, or on another day. All these things for us will be encouragement. If you have secured stalls, rather than people going to lumos and spreading their products on the ground, you have stalls, you have, everything is organized. You can lock them, go out and pray, come back, make sure that. So this is, for me, the structures that you need. And in terms of what you do to encourage them, once the structures are available, you have an attraction for all those who are interested in internal trade, and even those coming from across the border, to look forward to a day they can utilize the facility.
Thank you. Member for 𝒂𝒏𝒔.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, have you already identified all the villages that you have these Lumo activities, and where you plan to build those structures? If yes, can you please provide us with the list of all those, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒏𝒔. I cannot give you the 28 lumos on top of my head, but our research has proven that there are 28 lumos in the country at the moment, and for us, we are not stopping until we do all of them. So if we are serious, if we are interested in the list, I can provide you the list after this engagement. We have 28 lumos from here right up to URR. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Question number 0254 of 2022 by the member for Bakau, and I'm being informed that he has issued an authority to the member for Latrikunda Sabiji. Question number.
Point of order.
Both the member for Bakau and Latrikunda Sabiji are not in. And I've been informed that the authority was given to the member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Yes, point of order. I want to remind the Assembly about point of order 42.2. In case if a member is not present to ask his or her question when the member's name is called, and unless he or she has notified the speaker before the start of questions to the Vice President or the relevant minister, his or her desire to postpone the question, or has authorized another member to read the question on his or her behalf, the Vice President or the minister or the member answering on behalf of the Assembly authority shall cause an answer in writing. A, to be provided to the member within 22 clear working days from the date on which it was scheduled to be answered, and B, to be circulated to all members with the minutes. So meaning, when this case happens, this scenario, what took place here, the relevant minister concerned shall write his answer in writing, provided to the member 2 days from today. And then the same thing to be shared with other members.
Thank you. Noted. Yes. Member for Brikama. Thank you. Question number 0255 of 2022 by the member for Kombo East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think I should recall my question, because since the just tabled bill, Labour Bill 2022 is in the process, and that it has covered some of these issues that were put in, because the question was way back in 2022. But delaying of the bill as answered.
Speak a bit louder, please.
I said delaying of the bill, Labour Bill 2022, has answered my doubts on this question, and that I decided to withdraw the question.
Thank you. Question withdrawn. Question number 0256 of 2022 by the member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment explain to this August Assembly what plans are in place to help stabilize, if not reduce, the cost of commodities and services in the country to ease the cost of living for average Gambians? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Member for Lower Badibu constituency. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry monitors the stock and price levels of essential commodities such as rice, sugar, flour, edible oil, onions, potatoes, chicken, to ensure that these commodities are in adequate, available quantities and affordable to the public. This is done through regular consultations with the key importers and major retailers of these essential commodities to discuss and address challenges that they face in the importation and distribution of the commodities. The Gambia, like many other net food importing countries, is facing challenges in our efforts to stabilize the prices of food commodities. The global price of food commodities have been increasing to unprecedented levels since 2020 due to negative impacts of COVID-19, the Russian-Ukraine war, and weather conditions that significantly disrupted the global supply chains. These shocks adversely affected global production levels of most of the commodities, resulting in increases in prices and, in some cases, export restrictions from the exporting countries. To reduce the negative impact of these external shocks and dampening the rising prices of food commodities, my ministry took the following steps. We conducted meetings with shipping agencies, clearing agents, and other stakeholders within the value chain with a view to discussing and identifying measures to minimize the cost of clearance at the port. One of the key outcomes of these meetings was the identification and streamlining of services provided by shipping agents, including the terminal handling charges and the line port handling charges. In this regard, the ministry wrote to shipping agencies to streamline their charges based on services they provide to conform to international standards. The ministry is also engaging the relevant government institutions to establish a mechanism of regulating the shipping agencies. The ministry has also strengthened its collaboration with Gambia Ports Authority and the Gambia Revenue Authority to ensure timely facilitation of clearance of imports of key essential commodities. This is done by engaging GPA to facilitate the priority berthing of vessels carrying essential commodities to avoid high demurrage charges. In 2022 also, the ministry regularly provided priority berthing for sugar, rice, wheat, and edible oil. We have also maintained a strong collaboration with the Central Bank of the Gambia to help facilitate the availability of the required foreign exchange for the settlement of import payments of essential commodities. This has been very helpful in enabling the affected importers of essential commodities to pay and clear their consignments on arrival at the port of Banjul. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Speaker, the ministry also, I'll add this from a previous answer. In addition, the ministry also facilitated access. The strategy to stabilizing prices also includes promoting the participation of Gambian businesses in the importation and distribution of basic commodities. The Gambia National Food Security and Processing Corporation, formerly GGC, has been encouraged and supported to participate, and their importation of edible oil has helped in stabilizing the price of edible oil, which dropped from 2,150 per 20-liter gallon in September to 1,700 in December 2022. Further, Honorable Speaker, the government has had, in some instances, intervened, as I said, in our collaboration with the Central Bank to provide foreign currency in real terms to support not only the payments at the port, but to even offset some liabilities that some importers had, which facilitated the inflow of these commodities into the country. Mr. Speaker, the most important part of this, in my conclusion, will be that we are working with trade-related institutions to strengthen our engagements in our drive to streamline procedures and guidelines, fees and charges associated with importation of goods with a view to reducing the burden on the importers, which they ultimately transfer to the consumer. I'll also want to promise that we will continue the surveillance mechanisms and strengthen them through our weekly stock level collections and monitoring in order to ensure that we have commodities, these essential commodities in the country in the required quantities to ensure we support the stabilization of the prices. Thank you.
Supplementary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, you did mention that the price of 20 liters of oil has dropped from 2,250 to 1,750. Honorable Minister, if I should tell you the price of 20 liters of oil has now risen to over $2,000, would you believe that?
Observation.
Sir?
No. Observation. Can I observe you, please?
No observation, please.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Badibu. I think in the answer I was very clear. I was giving you answers at the end of December. Now, the stock levels and stock and prices of essential commodities today might be different. But this is how liberal markets operate. The forces of demand and supply play, and that is on a daily basis. When stocks are in high, at high levels, they favor the consumer in terms of forcing competition amongst the stocks so that prices go down. But when they run down as a result of excessive consumption or other factors leading to stocks flowing or dropping down, the possibility, the chances are, because more money chasing fewer goods, the prices will go up again. So this fluctuation is normal in a liberal market.
Thank you. I have no further question.
Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honourable Minister, the Honourable Member is asking to put measures in place to stabilize the cost of commodities and services in the country to ease the cost of living for the Afro-Gambians. Like in your answer, thank you for giving that explicit answer, but in your answer, it's telling us that, the measures you are putting in place, to ensure that the food is available and it's of quantity and it's affordable, meaning that this food is coming from outside.
Honourable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, please speak to your mic and speak a bit louder, please.
Thank you, Honourable. Let me bend a bit. Maybe I'm somehow, I don't know. Yes. What I'm trying to ask the Honourable Minister is, in his answer, is mainly trying to explain the mechanism they are putting in place to ensure that the food is available and is of quantity and is affordable. But normally this is coming from outside. So I want to ask him, what plan are they putting in place to ensure the food availability domestically, in domestic, at home rather? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. A couple of weeks ago, I went round on a tour. The idea was to go with my technicians, particularly to visit production sites. And we visited some large-scale farms. We visited some smallholder production centers. We were trying to understand what was going on, because my ministry gives incentives to investors to attract them into vital areas of the economy that we think investors need to be interested in, particularly agricultural production. And what we are doing in that regard is we are coming with some policy to get government and partners to focus on supporting agricultural production, that is food production, at two levels. The Ministry of Trade believes that you need to go large scale, but you also need to support the smallholder farmers by identifying some champions in every aspect of the production food chain, support them individually so they can scale up their production, those subsistence farmers, but that needs to be complemented by a functional cooperative network that will work with the farmers, those smallholder farmers, so that when they increase their production, they produce more than they consume, and maybe increase the cycles to 2 and 3. Once you are able to do that, the cooperatives are supposed to aggregate and collect the surplus foods from these farmers. That is what you will now transfer to the other parts of the country and sell them. That is at the smallholder level. So this we need to do with the Ministry of Agriculture, with other partners. We need to convince them to join us in this journey. These large-scale farmers also need to be given incentives to come in. He mentioned the Q group, who are very far at the moment. GAIPA is working with them, but we have other groups, we have other Gambians, and parts of our plans currently, in fact, in the next couple of weeks, my ministry and the Office of the Vice President and probably other ministries like Agriculture will be engaging the diaspora, the Gambian diaspora, and lure them, invite them with incentives into investing into agricultural production. Our target is to provide food from the Gambia and not import it. Currently, that is what is harming this country. So thank you. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Minister, during your intervention, you made very brilliant ideas, and also a lot of efforts has been made through the shipping agency, the Gambia Port Authority. What are your plans after all this in dealing with the business community who are not ready to cooperate with you, with your ministry, in dropping the price down?
Let me, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, and the Honorable Member, thanks for the question. You see, the private sector is a very strong partner to government. Government can never be involved in the buying and selling of commodities. We need the private sector to be comfortable in that space, to invest their money, and no investor invests to lose. They invest to gain. So our role as the facilitating ministry is to ensure the playing field is smooth. And that means government bending backwards if we have to, but the private sector also bending backwards if they have to. That's why there is this forum that has been in government for some time, which we are reviving. We are hoping that by end of this week, in fact today, this particular day, the business community is meeting with my technical team to explore the possibility of meeting the executive by end of this week. The business council is being revived, and one of the reasons, one of the objectives of that business council meeting is for the executive and the business community to share a table and talk about some of the challenges they face. Government also talks about their concerns, and we try to narrow our gaps and differences, meet in the middle in the interest of the consumer. So that's, for me, the key to addressing this issue of whether the business community is sensitive to our plight or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 0257 of 2022 by the member for Serekunda. I'm being informed that he has issued an authority to the member for Sabastanjal to read on his behalf.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor and the chance to read this question on behalf of the Honorable Member for Serekunda. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment tell this August Assembly if there are any policies regulating the community convenient shops? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member for Serekunda, courtesy of the Member for Sabastanjal. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment is committed to promoting the development of the retail sector, particularly the corner or community convenience shops that mostly deal with essential commodities. The Ministry under the Essential Commodity Act 2019 regulates the importation, distribution and retailing of essential commodities to ensure their availability at fair and reasonable prices by requiring importers, distributors and major retailers to regularly provide import data, stock levels, wholesale and retail prices of essential commodities. This enables the ministry to conduct weekly monitoring of the stocks and prices of essential commodities. However, the scope of the Essential Commodities Act does not cover the regulation of small retail or community convenience shops that spread across the country. However, given the instance or importance of community convenience shops, both in terms of reaching out to wider consumers through the country or throughout the country and the level of employment generated by the retail sector in support of the livelihoods of these citizens, the ministry plans to promote the development of a retail sector under the new domestic trade strategy that is currently being developed. The focus will be to promote increased participation of Gambians in the retail sector in order to tap the huge employment potential and wealth generation opportunities in the sector. The ministry will also promote formalization of these community shops in order to help achieve the objectives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No further questions from me.
Thank you. Question number 043 of 2023 by the member for Bakau. And I've been informed he issued an authority to the member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍 to read his question on his behalf. And the member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍 is absent. Question number 044 of 2023 by the member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am withdrawing this question because it is similar to the one that I first asked. Thank you.
Thank you very much for withdrawing. On that note, Honorable Minister, I wish to thank you sincerely on behalf of all members of the National Assembly for ably answering questions that were directed to you. Thank you. Clerk. I'm being informed that due to an emergency, the question for the Minister of Energy and Petroleum have been rescheduled for another date. Thank you very much, honorable members, for participating in this very important question and answer session. And may I now put the question. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Thursday, 16 March 2023 at 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The Assembly now stands adjourned until Thursday, 16 March 2023 at 10 a.m.
Thank you so much, those who are following us. Just follow us tomorrow at 10 a.m. I am Adam Asane, reporting for Kamaraba. Thank you so much.